Alicia Mackay, what's on your mind?
COVID came back.
Yeah, right.
I knew that it still existed. I knew it was still in the world. I've been following the news every day. But I was living like it had gone.
Yeah.
I genuinely, we snapped back to this version of normality so fast.
Right. And when you're saying we're talking about society, right?
Capital W.
Yeah, the big we of New Zealand, Team New Zealand. And we're looking over at Victoria going, you poor buggers.
Sucks to be you.
Yeah. I've been thinking about that whole snapback thing.
Yeah.
So I've been wondering out loud with a few people, actually, in the long run, is Victoria and the US going to be better off?
What? Get out of my house. No?
Chill. I'll tell you why. Because structures that, how we live our society, how we live in the world, they created the situation that we're in, right?
Yeah.
And structure determines outcome, right?
There's a good book about this, about how epidemics are a mirror to society rather than something that happens in it. Yeah.
And as I was reading an article, normal got us here, so why would we want to go back to normal, right?
Yeah.
So I've been thinking structural change really happens when you have some massive stresses on society.
Yeah.
And there's a guy, I can't remember his name, he talked about the four horsemen of the apocalypse.
We dodged it.
One of the four horsemen of the apocalypse in this guy's book, Walter someone I think his name is epidemics or pandemics, right? Yeah. And so if we want a better society, we have to go through some sort of massive upheaval force, some sort of massive heat experience to force that structural change. And I've been thinking, we're probably a bit damn complacent in New Zealand because that hasn't happened. We don't have that heat. So I'm looking and going, so now we're trying to contain this so we can avoid the pain. And that's why I've been thinking, in a really heretical way, is America and Victoria going to be better off?
No, 165,000 people have died in the United States.
Yeah, and in the short term, that's crap. But will that force structural change? That's my question.
I mean, no, that's so broken in every possible way that
but
this
is
is
that
just like another flaming pile of shit on the flaming shit heap.
So is this a phoenix from the ashes thing though, right?
I don't know. I mean, I think that's a good question because I'd certainly become complacent. So here's a story. 2 weeks ago, 1 week ago, I was about to buy a house, right? I was going to buy a house. And as it turned out, so the unconditional date was last Wednesday, the day after the announcement of the new cases. And as it turned out, the builder's report came back and it was like, cladding's a bit dodgy. There's probably some moisture in there. Can't tell unless we rip the walls off. Don't do that. And I was like, okay. So I didn't buy the house. But then Tuesday happened and I was like, oh my God, I nearly bought a house.
That's COVID day.
Here you go, have my money, I don't need it, everything's fine. What was I thinking? And so the idea that in such a short space of time, we'd gone from absolute emergency mode into everything's perfectly fine and we can expect it to stay that way, let's take financial risk, was like, wow. And so on the Tuesday night, I had this Wednesday wisdom scheduled ready to go out that I'd written on the Monday, and it was saying how I'd been in Hanna Springs the week before and it was this really bizarre feeling that everything was normal except it wasn't in ways that you couldn't quite put your finger on. So even when the restaurants were full and the pools were full and the place felt the same, it just didn't feel the same. And I was going, we've got to be really careful in these quiet times. This is what my thing said. I had to pull it. I've sent it out again this week though. Read Wednesday Wisdom. And I'm like, we have to be so careful in the quiet times because when everything looks normal and it feels normal and all that crisis leadership heroism is gone, we become so complacent so quickly.
Absolutely.
And everything just gets buried underneath.
I remember talking to this counsellor years ago and he goes...
Counsellor CI or Counsellor SE?
Counsellor as in not as a local counsellor, but as a therapist-y sort of guy, right? Years ago. I remember he said this thing, he goes, most people come, he goes talking about couples, and he goes, most people come to these counselling sessions that I do when everything's broken, right? And he goes, the best time to come is when everything's awesome. Because then you have a foundation to build from. You can really work on that foundation really well. Yeah. And I thought, And I was thinking about this, we're thinking everything's awesome and we're not going to counselling, right? As a country, because it's all good.
Yeah.
Whereas I think America and Victoria are probably going, where's the counsellor, right? For our state, for our country.
I think that's a really nice metaphor because crisis leadership is easier than change leadership.
Hell yeah.
When everything's on fire and everyone else can see it's on fire, you can be like, make big decisions, do hard things, and everyone's like, okay.
But it's also plug the holes, right? Yeah. It's also back to normal. And I think my argument is we can't do this. We have to go. And what frustrates me right now about the election stuff and everything in New Zealand is there is no vision. There is no vision for a different. There is vision for safe and secure and we're good. But where's the aspiration in that for us as a country? There's none of that. And there's none of that. This is what we need to change to be awesome.
Oh God, you're so right. And it's the same on either side. So you've got the incumbents just like, hey, we'll keep you alive. You've got the opposition that are like, we'll build another road, which is like a 1950s response. And so as the voters, we're sitting here like, but like, no, you're right.
There is massive opportunity, and perhaps we're hoping our government is the one to give the answers. Well, maybe doesn't come from there solely, right?
No,
maybe there needs to be a whole social conversation around what do we actually want to create.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that's missing. And I think we're all like, we just hope it will go away. That's why I think COVID's a good thing for countries because you have to face the music.
Yeah.
As horrible as it is, if you can go, what is the opportunity for us to be different and better, and how we do structure things differently, how we can shape our culture differently. Man, there's a massive opportunity. Hard work though.
All right, so hello, I'm Victoria and I've come to Digby Scott the counsellor, and I'm just wondering, what are your top tips for guarding against complacency once we've killed this thing off?
Wrong question.
Okay, fine. Right. Ask
me
a question.
I think the better question is, how do we navigate this now? And it's like awareness, conversation, possibility generation, dialogue. Try a bunch of experiments.
I don't have time for experiments, Digby. Everybody's dying.
You have to play a 10-year game.
Yeah.
This is not a thing.
Or a 50-year game.
Or a 50-year game. It's a okay, it's a generational game.
Oh God, because this is the thing. We've just got all those shovel-ready projects confirmed. We've just started dishing funding out. I had a meeting with a client the day before where they're like, cool, we just got $43 million from the shovel-ready thing. We're about to build a thing. Come in and help us figure out how to build it. Everything's good. Shit.
Yeah.
And it was like, we're going,
Yeah.
So you're right.
Yeah.
Shovel-ready's great, but that is a 10-week plan.
That's right.
Not a 10-year plan.
No, we need a 10-year vision for how we can be as a society.
All right. So do we get complacent? Is it easy to get complacent? Is normal a crap goal? Is mediocre and safe and secure not where we need to be? Is the New Zealand way something better? How do we create that vision? How do we think bigger? We'd love to hear your thoughts.